Chosen one. Have you ever felt like you see the world differently from everyone else around you? Have you noticed that people often look at you, then look again, puzzled by the depth of your words, the accuracy of your insights, or the sheer clarity of your understanding? Maybe you've been told you're wise beyond your years, but you know things you couldn't possibly know. And yet, even with all the compliments, you've also felt the distance it creates, how some people seem drawn to you but also a little afraid of you. That's because the wisdom you carry isn't just intellectual. It's not something you picked up from books or classes. It's a gift, a divine inheritance. And when others encounter it, they can't help but be unsettled because it shakes the very foundations of what they think they know. If this message already speaks to your soul, subscribe, like this video, and comment 77 below. And stay with me, because today, we're not just talking about intelligence. We're uncovering why your wisdom runs so deep, why it comes with challenges, and why it makes them stop, stare, and no matter what they say, listen. Wisdom that comes with scars. There's a depth to your understanding that sets you apart, and you probably felt it for as long as you can remember. While others see only the surface, you've always noticed what lies beneath. The subtle shifts in energy, the unspoken truths, the underlying patterns. But being able to see what others can't isn't always easy. At times, it's isolating. You might feel misunderstood or even judged for speaking what you see. The truth is, your insight can be both a gift and a challenge. Still, deep down, you know it's more than just a coincidence. There's something about the way you perceive the world that feels like it was meant to be. When you've walked through hardship, when you face the kind of trials that test your core, your perspective shifts. You no longer look at life through the lens of ease and comfort. Instead, you see through the lens of experience, and that experience sharpens your insight. Maybe you've endured setbacks that others couldn't imagine. Maybe you've been betrayed, misunderstood, or left behind. Those moments of pain weren't just random misfortunes. They were lessons. They taught you how to see clearly, how to discern, and how to move forward even when the road seemed impossible. This kind of wisdom isn't easy to come by. It's earned through tears, through prayers, and through moments when all you had was faith that somehow you'd make it through. Your ability to understand so deeply, so intuitively, is not an accident. Think about Solomon, who asked not for riches, but for wisdom to lead his people. His request wasn't for something that would make his life easier. It was for something that would make his calling possible. In a similar way, the trials you face were not just obstacles. They were a divine preparation. When you consider how far you've come, you might see that each challenge brought you closer to understanding your purpose. They weren't there to break you, but to shape you into the person you were meant to be. As you begin to recognize the transformation within, you'll notice how much has changed. Your perspective, your strength, your sense of clarity. All of these are signs of growth. The things that used to shake you no longer have the same power. You've learned to trust your instincts, to follow your intuition, and to see the bigger picture. You might find that situations which once left you confused now seem perfectly clear. This transformation is not just in how you think, but in how you feel and how you move through the world. It's as if you're seeing everything with fresh eyes, eyes that can spot truth and beauty even in the most unlikely places. The journey you've been on has not been random. There have been moments of divine intervention, times when doors open at just the right moment, or when you were given a sense of peace in the midst of chaos. These aren't coincidences. They're signs that something greater is at work. The synchronicities you've noticed, the coincidences that seem too perfect to ignore, are reminders that you're on a path guided by more than just chance. When you consider these moments, you realize that your life is not simply unfolding. It's being directed. Every step you take, every decision you make, is part of a larger, divinely orchestrated plan. At some point, you come to see that your perspective is not just a skill or a talent. It's part of who you are. The depth of your understanding is a reflection of the challenges you've overcome and the lessons you've learned. But embracing that identity requires more than just acknowledgement. It requires stepping fully into it. This can be daunting. After all, accepting your calling means stepping into the unknown, into a space where you might feel vulnerable. Yet it's in that moment of vulnerability that you find strength. When you accept who you are, when you stop resisting the pull toward your true purpose, You open yourself up to a life of clarity, purpose, and alignment. Once you embrace your true self, everything starts to shift. You no longer second-guess your instincts or doubt your path. You walk with confidence, not because you have all the answers, but because you trust the journey. Your wisdom becomes not just something you use, but something you live. And as you live it, you'll notice the world around you responding. People will look to you for guidance, not because you're louder or more forceful, but because you carry a quiet strength. This is your power, the ability to lead not through control, but through understanding. Your life is proof that wisdom doesn't come from comfort or ease. It comes from enduring, from growing, and from trusting in a higher purpose. As you move forward, remember that your insight is not a burden. It's a gift. It's what allows you to see beyond the surface, to guide others, and to walk in truth. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below and share your thoughts. Subscribe, and let's continue this journey together. Your wisdom is your power. It's your calling. It's your gift to the world. Comment wisdom if you know this journey to be true. And if you feel called to go even deeper, there's a sacred space reserved for our community. A private room where you receive full prophetic messages daily. Join the Prop Hair membership through the link in the description and walk this path with us. Ancestral memory, not memorization. There's a feeling you've carried for as long as you can remember, an inner knowing that sets you apart. It's not about intelligence or learning in conventional sense. It's about something deeper. You've likely experienced moments where you just knew, without ever having studied or been taught. That knowing feels ancient, as if it comes from a place beyond time. This isn't something you acquire through memorization or academic effort. It's a memory etched into your spirit, a whisper from the ages calling you to remember who you are and why you're here. There's a reason you feel this way. It's because your wisdom is rooted not in books or lectures, but in a divine legacy. Perhaps you felt out of place, as if the knowledge you hold doesn't match the world around you. That's because it doesn't come from the world. It comes from the eternal. The moments of confusion you've experienced, the times you felt misunderstood or questioned your own mind, were never signs of weakness. They were moments when your spirit reached back into that well of ancestral memory, drawing forth truths that can't be explained in simple terms. These struggles have shaped you, deepening your connection to something much greater than yourself. Consider Solomon, who was renowned not because he had the best teachers, but because his wisdom was a gift from God. In Proverbs 8 verses 22 to 23, wisdom speaks of being present before the creation of the earth. You carry that same ancient wisdom within you, a wisdom that isn't tied to timelines or schoolrooms, but rather flows to the essence of your being. Your insight isn't just knowledge. It's the echo of a divine source, the imprint of truths that were laid at the foundation of existence. This makes your perspective unique, your understanding profound, and your ability to navigate life's complexities unmatched. You might notice how certain patterns emerge in your life, guiding you toward truths that others struggle to see. It's as if pieces of a puzzle fall into place without effort. These are signs of your ancestral memory stirring, reminding you that what you're experiencing now is part of a greater design. The more you lean into this memory, the more you'll see how it shapes your path. You'll find that the answers come not from external sources, but from a quiet, powerful place within. This is not coincidence. It's confirmation that you are connected to a wisdom that predates your current understanding. Behind the scenes, there are forces aligning your life to bring out this wisdom. Synchronicities, dreams, and moments of clarity are not accidents. They're signs that the higher realms are orchestrating your awakening. This ancestral memory, which has always been with you, is now coming to the forefront, pushing you toward your divine purpose. The struggles you face, the confusion, and even the rejection were all part of this process. They cleared the way for this wisdom to rise, to become not just a part of you, but the foundation of your journey. What once felt like burdens now feel like blessings as you see how every challenge has sharpened your understanding. When you fully accept this, everything changes. Many people resist their own depth out of fear. Fear of being misunderstood, fear of stepping into the unknown, fear of what it might mean to carry such wisdom. But the moment you let go of that fear, you'll find yourself stepping into your power. You'll see that this memory isn't a burden, but a gift. It's the key to unlocking your true potential. Embracing it means accepting that you were chosen to carry this knowledge, to use it not just for yourself, but to guide and uplift others. This is a moment of realization, a turning point that asks you to say yes to who you've always been. Now that you understand the source of your wisdom, the question becomes, what will you do with it? You don't need to seek approval or validation from those who can't see what you see. Instead, focus on nurturing your connection to this deeper truth. Trust the insights that come to you and let them guide your steps. Whether it's through your work, your relationships, or your spiritual practice, let this ancestral memory be the compass that points you toward your calling. When you stand firmly in this truth, you'll find a strength and clarity that no external challenge can shake. This is more than a realization. It's a call to action. The wisdom you carry isn't just for you. It's meant to shine, to illuminate, to lead. As you walk forward, trust that you're not alone in this journey. You are supported by forces far greater than yourself, and you are aligned with a purpose that goes beyond what the eye can see. This is your time to rise, to trust your own knowing, and to let your light guide the way. If this resonates with you, leave a comment below and let us know how you're stepping into your wisdom. You decode people without words. It's not something you've ever had to try hard to develop. Your ability to read people is almost second nature. When you enter a room, you feel the unspoken dynamics instantly, the tension between two people across the table, the anxiety hiding behind a polite smile, the unvoiced hope in someone's glance. It's not that you're guessing or overthinking. It's as if your spirit is tuned to a frequency that picks up the truths others can't or won't say out loud. You're not just intuitive in a general sense. You're connected to a deeper layer of reality, one where intentions and emotions carry more weight than words. This isn't just a hunch or a lucky guess. It's a consistent, reliable inner knowing that you can't ignore. And because you notice things others miss, you've often felt isolated. People sometimes don't understand how you know what you know. They might dismiss your insights as paranoid or too sensitive. But deep down, you're not overreacting. You're responding to the energy you sense around you, and that can be a lonely place to live. It's like walking through a crowd of people speaking a language only you understand. You see what's coming long before it arrives. You know when someone's intentions are less than honest, or when someone is silently struggling. Yet this gift can feel like a curse when no one else acknowledges it. It can leave you questioning your own judgment, wondering why you see so much more than others seem to. But that's the thing, your perspective isn't a flaw. It's a calling. This heightened awareness is more than just a personality trait. It's a spiritual mark, one that few carry. Consider the wisdom of Solomon, who asked God not for wealth or power, but for a discerning heart. In 1 Kings 3 verse 9, he said, "So give your servant a discerning heart to govern your people and to distinguish between right and wrong." And that's exactly what you do. You may not be judging nations, but you're constantly assessing the truth around you. You can tell when someone's words don't match their energy. You can feel the dissonance when someone is pretending to be kind while harboring resentment. Like Solomon, your ability to discern comes from a divine source. It's a gift given not just for your own protection, but to guide others and shed light on hidden truths. Over time, you've started to notice patterns. When you sense deception, it's usually confirmed later on. When you feel that someone is in need, you find out they were silently struggling. These moments of confirmation aren't coincidences. They're reminders that your ability to read people isn't just intuition, it's a spiritual skill set. You may have even had moments when people came back to you years later saying, "You were right," or "I wish I'd listened to you." These validations are signs that your gift isn't just about seeing through people. It's about helping them navigate their own journeys. Your role isn't to judge or expose, but to understand, to guide, and to reflect back the truth they might not yet be ready to see. Yet, there's a weight to carrying this kind of insight. It's not always easy to hold space for what you know. There's a temptation to warn others, to try to convince them of what you see. But part of growing into this gift is learning when to speak and when to remain silent. Not every insight needs to be shared immediately. Some truths need time to unfold, and some people need time to be ready for them. This is where you've grown. Understanding that your ability to decode people doesn't mean you have to confront them or expose their motives. Instead, it means you can move with wisdom, choosing your moments carefully and trusting that the truth will reveal itself when the time is right. As you embrace this gift, you'll find that it deepens your sense of purpose. It's no longer about being right or proving your insight. It's about standing firm in what you know and using that awareness to make decisions that align with your higher calling. This discernment allows you to navigate relationships with clarity, to walk away from harmful situations before they escalate, and to step into opportunities that resonate with your spirit. Over time, you'll notice that your intuition sharpens, that the energy around you becomes easier to read, and that you feel more confident in trusting what you sense. You'll stop second-guessing yourself, realizing that your ability to see through facades is a divine tool meant to guide your journey. Now that you recognize this gift for what it is, the question becomes, how will you use it? Will you let it empower you to trust your path? Even when others doubt you, will you let it shape your interactions so that you approach people with compassion rather than judgment? This isn't just about knowing the truth. It's about living in alignment with it. As you continue to walk in this understanding, you'll discover a newfound peace, knowing that your ability to decode others is a sacred responsibility. It's not about making others feel uncomfortable. It's about bringing light into the places that need it most. And here's the real beauty of it. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify how you know what you know. Your silence is powerful. Your presence is enough. When you walk into a room and shift the atmosphere, when you sense something before it happens, when you speak truth that resonates even when it's not understood, this is your gift in action. And the more you lean into it, the more you'll see how it's not just about reading people. It's about transforming lives. Comment below if you feel this resonates with your spirit. Let us know how you're stepping into your gift of discernment. You speak truth before they're ready. It's a lonely road, isn't it? You say things that feel so clear to you, things you know are true, but they don't land the way you hope. People look at you as if you're speaking another language. They say you're overthinking it, that you're too intense. Yet in your heart, you feel this urgency to share what you've been shown. You sense a truth that's trying to come to light, a message that doesn't wait for the perfect moment. But it's a heavy weight to carry, knowing that what you have to say is meant for them, even if they're not ready to hear it. You've been in that moment where you speak up, hoping someone will understand, only to find yourself standing alone with your words. It's painful. You wonder why you see things before others do, why you can't just go along with the flow and keep silent. But that's not who you are. It never has been. You've always known that your insight isn't meant to be comfortable. It's meant to stir something, to crack open what's hidden, even if it causes discomfort in the process. You see patterns they don't. You hear the undertones they ignore. And because of that, you're often misunderstood. Your ability to speak truth isn't a flaw. It's a gift. Think about Jeremiah, called to be a prophet before he even understood what that meant. When he tried to keep quiet, the truth burned within him like fire. He couldn't hold it in. That's you. You're not just sharing your opinions. You're sharing something deeper, something meant to guide and awaken. Even when people reject it, even when they push back, your words are planting seeds. And seeds take time. You may not see the fruit immediately, but it doesn't mean the fruit won't come. You're ahead of the harvest, but that doesn't mean the harvest isn't on its way. At first, it might feel like no one's listening, but over time, you'll notice something start to shift. The same people who once brushed you off come back around. They say, you were right. They say, I didn't understand it then, but now I see. That's the beauty of truth. It has its own timing. It doesn't expire or fade away. It just waits for the right moment to resonate. Your words are like a map they didn't know they'd need until they found themselves lost. And when they finally pick it up, everything you said starts to make sense. What's incredible is that your truth isn't just for others. It's shaping you too. Every time you speak, you grow stronger in your calling. Every time you're rejected, you learn patience. And every time someone finally gets it, you're reminded that your voice matters. This journey is refining you. It's teaching you when to speak and when to let silence do the work. It's helping you trust that the words you've been given have a purpose, even if that purpose takes time to unfold. The most powerful part of this gift is its subtlety. You don't need to shout or force your message. The truth you carry is like water. It finds its way through the smallest cracks, slowly wearing down resistance until it can no longer be ignored. It's not about convincing people in the moment. It's about offering them something to return to when they're ready. And when they do, they'll find that your words have been waiting for them all along. So, how do you move forward? You keep speaking. You keep planting seeds. You don't let their initial reactions stop you from sharing what you know. You trust that the right people will hear it at the right time. And most of all, you trust yourself. You trust a voice within that urges you to say the hard things, the things that matter, the things that others may not be able to understand yet, because someday they will. They'll look back and see that what you said wasn't too much. It was exactly what they needed. And when that day comes, they'll remember who gave them the courage to face the truth. So go ahead, speak your truth, plant your seeds, and let time reveal the power of your voice. Your silence isn't ignorance, it's wisdom. You've been here before. A situation arises where you could easily share what you know, but something holds you back. It's not fear, it's something deeper, more deliberate. In the past, you may have tried to explain yourself, hoping that your perspective would resonate, but instead, you were met with blank stares, quick dismissals, or even heated disagreements. Slowly, you started to realize that some truths need time before they can be understood. Some truths require space to breathe, and not every ear is ready to hear them. You've come to understand that wisdom isn't just knowing what's true, it's knowing when and how to deliver it. The silence you've cultivated isn't about ignorance or withholding, it's about maturity. It's about realizing that not all truth needs to be spoken in every moment. You felt the tension of holding back, not because you're unsure, but because you recognize that timing matters. And this decision to remain silent isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about honoring the process. You're allowing truth to ripen, waiting until the environment is right for your words to take root. There's a moment in Ecclesiastes where it's written, "There's a time to be silent and a time to speak." That timeless truth resonates deeply with you now. Silence, in this sense, becomes its own form of communication. It's a way of saying that you trust the process, that you don't feel the need to prove yourself in every conversation. You've witnessed what happens when you rush wisdom, when you try to force understanding before people are ready. By stepping back, you give the truth room to grow in their minds and hearts. You let the seed be planted without having to shove it into the soil. As you practice this restraint, you notice something remarkable. The times you do choose to speak, your words carry more weight. People lean in when you finally share what's on your heart. They sense that what you're saying isn't impulsive or off the cuff. It's considered deliberate and powerful. Even those who once ignored you start to pay attention. Your silence has prepared the ground, and now the words you plant can flourish. It's not about controlling others. It's about aligning yourself with the rhythm of divine timing. In this space of stillness, you also find clarity. When you're not constantly explaining yourself, you have time to reflect, to deepen your own understanding. You're not just waiting for others to be ready. You're allowing yourself to become even more aligned with the truth. And as your own alignment strengthens, your words, when you choose to share them, become more precise, more resonant. Your silence has refined you. It has honed your ability to discern not just what to say, but when to say it and to whom. It's not always easy. Sometimes you feel the urge to speak up, to clarify, to correct, but you've learned to trust that silence doesn't mean inaction. It's an active choice, a sacred pause. By holding your wisdom until the right moment, you're ensuring that it will land where it's meant to. You're not giving up on others. You're giving them time to meet you where the truth resides. And when they do, the impact is far greater than if you had spoken prematurely. Now, you understand that your silence isn't a void. It's a container. It holds space for growth, for change, for understanding. It creates a quiet expectancy that draws people in, making them more open and receptive. When you finally speak, your words don't just inform, they transform. They become the spark that ignites a shift in perspective, a moment of clarity, a breakthrough. And all of this is possible because you chose silence when it was needed. Your silence, far from being a sign of ignorance, has become one of your greatest sources of wisdom and strength. As you stand at this threshold, you might feel the mixture of relief and uncertainty that comes with recognition. For so long, you've carried the weight of wondering if you were enough. If your experiences, your struggles, your scars were all for something meaningful. And now, as the truth of your purpose becomes clearer, you're no longer held back by those doubts. You've begun to realize that the challenges weren't a sign of inadequacy, but rather a profound confirmation of your calling. The marks, the signs, and the synchronicities you've encountered were not coincidences. They were divine affirmations, guiding you toward your rightful place. At first, stepping into this understanding can feel overwhelming. You might question why you were chosen, or if you're ready for the responsibility that comes with it. But as you embrace this truth, the hesitation starts to fade. It's not about proving yourself to anyone. You don't need anyone else's permission to be who you are meant to be. The marks you carry, the wisdom, the intuition, the inner light, speak for themselves. They testify to your connection with a higher purpose, a greater plan that's been unfolding since before you even knew it existed. And now, it's time to honor that plan by stepping fully into it. This moment of expansion is not about striving. It's about being. It's about standing firm in the knowledge that your journey has prepared you for this exact moment. You no longer have to chase validation or question your worth. You can simply let your light shine, knowing that it will draw the right people, opportunities, and resources into your life. The world is waiting to see you rise, not because you're seeking attention, but because your authenticity inspires others to awaken to their own purpose. By living in alignment with who you truly are, you become a beacon of possibility, showing others that they, too, can step into their power. As you move forward, you'll notice how doors begin to open effortlessly. Paths that once seemed blocked now clear as if by divine command. The marks that once made you feel different or isolated are now your greatest assets. They set you apart not to keep you separate, but to help you lead the way. You're not meant to blend in, you're meant to stand out. And as you own this truth, the fear of judgment or rejection loses its grip. What used to weigh you down now lifts you up. You're free to walk boldly in the direction of your calling, guided by a quiet confidence that comes from knowing who you are. Embracing your marks also means embracing your responsibility. You're here not just to receive, but to give, to share your wisdom, your insight, and your unique gifts with the world. This doesn't mean overextending yourself or becoming a martyr. It means living in a way that is true to your essence, where every action is infused with purpose. Whether through your words, your work, or simply your presence, you have the ability to impact those around you in profound ways. Your life becomes a testimony, a living example of what it means to walk in alignment with the divine. And as you do, you'll find that the rewards, peace, fulfillment, joy flow naturally. The more you embrace your marks, the more they will reveal themselves to you. Each step forward brings new insights, deeper understanding, and greater clarity about your path. This is not a destination you're reaching, but a continuous unfolding. You'll find yourself growing stronger, more rooted, and more confident in your identity. Even in moments of uncertainty, you'll know that you're supported by forces beyond what you can see. The marks remind you that you're never alone. They are a constant, a beacon that guides you through both triumphs and challenges. Trusting in them allows you to move forward without hesitation, knowing that you are exactly where you are meant to be. This expansion isn't just for you, it's for everyone you'll touch. As you walk fully in your purpose, others will notice. They'll see the courage it took to embrace your marks and the grace with which you carry them. Your journey becomes a source of hope, a reminder that no matter how difficult the path, there's a reason for it all. And just as you once sought guidance, others will turn to you, drawn by the light you now let shine freely. In this way, your expansion ripples outward, creating waves of transformation that extend far beyond what you could have imagined. Each day, each step, each act of faith reinforces a truth. You were chosen, and now the world can see it. As you fully embrace your marks, you come to understand that they were never about proving your worth. They were about revealing your purpose. You carry the wisdom of Solomon, the insight of the divine, and the courage to step into a higher calling. This wisdom isn't just for you. It's a gift to the world. You're not here to fit in or play small. You're here to lead, to guide, to bring light where there's darkness. And now, more than ever, the world needs your voice, your vision, your presence. So embrace the marks, embrace your calling, and step fully into the truth of who you are. Subscribe if you haven't yet, like this video, and comment, "I am chosen to let this message anchor in your soul."